Just a quick disclaimer for you guys at the beginning of this episode. This was filmed before the latest update of Minecraft was released. And so, with the release of Render Dragon, a new code base for the game, many things like shaders that were developed before now do not work anymore. So, you'll see a chunk visualizer texture pack in this episode at some point, and it's not going to work for you if you try to download it now. But do not worry, this has opened up the door for many new types of shaders and resources for the community to be developed by people much smarter than me. We're just going to have to wait for those people to develop said things. So, enjoy the episode. Let's get rolling. Just in case you guys were not aware, turtles are friends. They're not target practice. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bedrock Guide. Have you ever done something in Minecraft when you're so certain that it worked a specific way that you didn't bother to double check? Well, apparently that happened to me in the last episode. We were talking all about potions and potion brewing, and I was going around at the beginning of the episode hunting turtles, thinking that they dropped the scoot when you clobber a turtle. Apparently that doesn't work that way, and I learned that the hard way. So I apologize for not doing my due diligence and my research. Turns out that the only way to get scoot is by hatching baby turtles from a turtle egg. So we'll correct that the next time that we work with turtles, but that's not what we're doing today. I've got a chest full of goodies right here that we're going to talk about here in just a second, but let's talk about goals. Our first trip into the Nether was not so successful. We had a little bit of a run-in with a wither skeleton, and let's just say he won the battle. But we are not going to steer clear of the Nether. We're headed back in today because we are going to talk about a few different methods of mining for ancient debris. So the first of our three goals is to go branch mining in the Nether, looking for ancient debris, and then we're going to test out the TNT method, and then we're also going to test out the bed bombing method. I want to test all three of these methods out, and then we can determine at the end of the episode which I think is more efficient, and maybe you'll disagree with me, but you know, that's okay. In our loot chest, we have the most primary and essential resource to take with us on this trip. We got plenty of fire resistance. There is no way that we're not going to encounter lava on this trip, so to go in here without fire resistance is kind of putting yourself in a risky position. So we're not going to risk it. Then we've got all the materials for our beds, and we're just going to dye them purple. I think we're going to need a few more dye, but we'll grab those in a second. Then I want to grab this obsidian, these ender pearls, and this blaze powder, and we're going to craft up our first set of ender chests. So in order to do that, we're going to take our ender pearls and our blaze powder. It does not matter where you put these in the crafting table. They can go anywhere. So we've got 2 eyes of ender, and then we're going to place those straight here in the middle because now it does matter. And we're going to take our obsidian and go around just like that. And we've got 2 ender chests that we can utilize. And I think I'll place the first one right there. That seems like a good place for it. If you don't know how an ender chest works, basically what you do, you take items, you put them inside, and if you have a second ender chest, it is basically like wireless storage. So I can go over here and place this ender chest down and open it up, and wow, there's our rotten flesh that we put in that chest way over there. So we are going to put a bunch of supplies in here to take with us, just so we don't lose them along the way. It is important to note as well that if you try to mine an ender chest with anything other than a silk touch pickaxe, it's going to break, and it's not going to give you back your ender pearl or eye of ender. So just be careful with that. Make sure you've got a silk touch pick on you. So let's go ahead and load this up with fire resistance potions. That's good. And then we can go ahead and toss in our TNT because that is one of the methods that we're going to explore today. And you know, just to save time, I don't think we're going to use the dye. I think we're just going to keep these as white beds because we would either need to take the dye and dye the beds when we're in the Nether, and that's a little bit of a time waster when we're trying to get in, get out, get our ancient debris, and we don't have enough to dye all of this wool. We only have enough to dye 36. So we're going to go with white beds. They're just going to explode anyway, so it doesn't much matter. Another thing that we need for this trip is to grab some soul torches. So we've got some sticks, some soul sand, and some coal. We're going to grab a bunch of these. We're going to place these down on the ground in the Nether to kind of repel the piglins. Piglins are scared of these things, and so it's great to have those around, especially if we don't really want to equip gold armor pieces. We'll still take some gold armor with us for the journey to wherever we're going to end up, but I actually just just want my diamond armor for the actual mining session, it does offer a little bit more protection. And then we've got this obsidian that we are gonna go ahead and put together a nether portal on our property. The one we've been accessing is like 2,000 blocks that way, and then we've got prowls over there, but I kind of want my own access to the nether here. I think a good spot for this would be right on top of this hill. And what we're gonna do is dig down into the ground a little bit and go boop, 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 boop. Not bad, not bad. And then we'll go ahead and light this. And before we get going with the trip, I'm just gonna poke my head inside and see where this comes out. I don't know where it's gonna be, but we're gonna test it out. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. This links up exactly with Prowl's portal. We are relatively close, but there is a way around that. Oh no, we're over at Prowl's house now. That's exactly what I did not want to happen. I wasn't actually planning on talking about this, but we're gonna go up here and grab some more obsidian. I believe it is in this one right here. Good. So all we gotta do is we gotta take our coordinates here for our nether portal and divide them by 8. And then once we get inside the nether, we can go ahead and put a portal down, and that should link up with this one right here versus sending us all the way over to Prowl's house. It's pretty simple. So let me do some quick math. The coordinates that we're going to want to look for are 18, -18. Oh, that's terrible. I think it's like smack dab in the middle of that island right there. Okay. So if you can imagine the overworld at such a greater distance, if this is my house, which is exactly where it should be, over that direction is Prowl's house, which it works out. The math works out. So divide the things by 8, and we should be able to link up the correct portal here. When you're doing this kind of thing, it is important that you do light the portal from the inside of the nether to link it up and then go through it. Otherwise, it's possible that it might not sync correctly. We're just going to cover this up as well. Just put some windows in. We don't want any gas coming in here trying to blow it up when we're trying to go in and out of the nether. So we'll just kind of make a little bit of a protective area. Cobblestone is blast resistant to gas fireballs. It's probably a good idea to use that as a starting place when you are building in the nether like this. So let's go ahead and light the portal, and we'll step through and see where we come out. Hopefully it's at our house. Hey, there we go. That's promising. Let's go back through just to make sure it linked properly. Should take us to our portal. Fantastic, fantastic. So then what happens if we go over here? We go through Prowl's portal. Is that going to take us to his house? Oh, that's great. Yes. And so without any further ado, we're going to grab our ender chest here and head on into the nether. We've got everything we need, and all we really need to do is find a good place that we can dig down that's going to get us below this lava lake. Because the place that we want to be to find ancient debris is between Y levels 8 and 22. And it is preferred that we be at Y level 15, because at Y level 15, you will find the highest saturation of ancient debris possible. And I think this looks like as good a place as any. Let's just go ahead and do a little bit of a staircase down, and I'll meet you down at Y level 15. Another thing I should probably mention to you guys as well, I did bring this water bucket along with me. Somebody left in my comment section on the Nether episode that we should talk about this. So if we're going branch mining in the overworld and we encounter lava like this, it's really easy to get rid of. All you gotta do is drop a water bucket, it turns it into obsidian, and you're good to keep going. The Nether does not work that way. If you drop a water bucket here, you just get a little smoke. Water does you no good in the nether. We're standing on Y level 14 so that Y level 15 is right in our face, because that is the most saturated area that we could find netherite. The first method that we're going to attempt is branch mining. I've enabled a chunk visualizer texture pack just so we can see where the chunk border is, because there is a chance that we might find netherite here and here on bordering chunks. So I think we're just gonna start headed in this direction and see what we can find. And because we are more than likely to hit a few lava pockets on the way, we're gonna take one of our 8-minute fire resistance potions right now and get rolling. Ancient debris was introduced to Minecraft in the 1.16 Nether update. Ancient debris tries to generate anywhere between, there we go, levels 8 and 22 for the first vein in each chunk. And then if a second vein happens to generate, it can be anywhere between levels 8 and 219. So it is possible to find ancient debris all the way to the top of the nether, but it is much more rare there because it does prefer the lower levels first. And as I mentioned before, Y level 15 on average is the best place to find it. I think that was only a single. I think we've dug enough around it that we're not going to find any more. So we're going to keep going. Heyo, there's another one. Not bad. Another thing that we should note as well is that ancient debris never generates when it is exposed to the air. It's always going to be surrounded by blocks. And ancient debris can only replace netherrack, blackstone, and basalt. So if you're digging around in a soul sand valley, you're never going to find ancient debris in the soul sand. I forgot to mention as well that we are going to do this for about a half an hour on each method just to give each one a fair shake and see how many we can come away with. So why is ancient debris such a big deal? Well, it is a brand new resource in the Nether update, and it is completely resistant to fire and lava. If you happen to die in lava or fire, all of your stuff is going to just go up in smoke, except for your netherite materials. It is also slightly stronger than diamond tools and armor. We've now found 4 ancient debris in just a few minutes, honestly. It hasn't taken us long to get this far. But you should note that 4 is an important number when it comes to ancient debris. When you smelt 1 ancient debris, you will get 1 netherite scrap. You need 4 netherite scrap, so 4 ancient debris, and 4 gold ingots to make 1 netherite ingot. And then with that 1 netherite ingot, you can apply it to any tool or armor to create a netherite tool or armor piece. You can also make netherite blocks out of netherite ingots the same way that you can make it out of diamonds or gold or iron. Our first 30-minute timer is up, and we did go ahead and do a second branch because we went way far down that way. So I figured I would just double back and do another branch. And on that first trip, we got 18 ancient debris in 30 minutes with branch mining. That's not bad. We're gonna go ahead and grab our TNT for the next run. We're not really gonna time this one. I imagine it will work itself out to be about 30 minutes like the branch mining one did, but we're gonna grab some more fire resistance, obviously. And we're gonna go over here to where I've already figured out the chunk border is right on this line, and we're just gonna tunnel out a little ways. We've got 32 pieces of TNT, and we're gonna set them about 4 blocks apart. And then we're just gonna set them off. We've got flame on our bow, so we'll be able to set these off with our arrows. That won't be a problem. Let's drink this really quick because that will be a problem. And then we'll kind of see what the damage is and see how many pieces of netherite we can find through the tunnel. If you didn't know, the explosion damage caused by TNT is at a power level of 4. When you try to sleep in a bed in the nether, it has a blast power of 5. Who knew that beds were more powerful than TNT? That's kind of crazy. So it'll be interesting to see how beds compare to TNT. I'm not going to be overly precise with spacing these out at 4 blocks apiece. We're just going to kind of spam them down. So we're actually doing this live on Twitch. If you didn't know that, there are people watching me do this right now. If you are interested in seeing what kind of things we get up to in live streams, it's exactly stuff like this. We go on adventures, we go branch mining, we go looking for new biomes. In the last stream, we tried to find a jungle unsuccessfully. We went 8,000 blocks in one direction and couldn't find a jungle. It was absolutely frustrating. We ran out of room. We have 8 extra TNT. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and shoot these, and we'll save the other 8 for just a minute from now. But yeah, be sure to check out Twitch. We'd love to have you over there as well. It's always a fun time interacting with you guys live. But for now, for this video, we do have flame on this bow, so we're going to go ahead and take a shot. I'm not throwing away my shot. Comments in the comment section if you know what that's from. And here we go. TNT blasting away. Oh, really? Womp womp sound. Okay, here we go. We're gonna blast another one. Good thing we got infinity on the bow. It's not doing it. There we go. TNT. Let's go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay, we're just gonna kind of do this as we go. I'm gonna go ahead and fire off all of the arrows. Ancient debris right there. Beautiful. We're gonna go ahead and fire off these arrows and set off all the TNT, and then we'll work our way back and grab the ancient debris as we go. If you were a professional and you did this right, you wouldn't have to fire this many arrows like me. There we go. Let's go. Keep that going. Keep that going. Boom. That's all the TNT. 32 pieces. Did not get us too far. But there is no ancient debris right here, and we're just gonna start walking back and see how much we can find in our little blast tunnel here. If we're trying to speedrun this, we wouldn't necessarily go through all the lava and clear it out, but because there's not a ton in here, I feel like it's probably worth it for our first couple of rounds of TNT bombing, especially because we don't have a lot of TNT. There might be a few pieces hiding underneath the lava. This would be about the bottom we could find ancient debris because it only goes down to 8. So we're kind of close to the maximum limit here. All right, we found our first piece of ancient debris hiding in the ceiling here. So we're going to pillar up and grab that really quick. Again, just as we did while branch mining, we're going to dig around. We didn't really have to because gravel fell, but it's always good to dig around the area because all of the pieces are not always connected together. Sometimes they might be diagonal from one another. We've reached the end of the tunnel, and as far as I can see, I haven't missed any ancient debris. I'm sounding like Dr. Seuss. We're just rhyming all over the place. But I've got 9 ancient debris here out of that 32 TNT. And to be honest, I think maybe we were in this tunnel for about 15 minutes. Doing branch mining, we got 18. Now, 15 minutes times 2 is 30 minutes. 9 times 2 is 18. So it about evens out if you have an unlimited access to TNT, which we don't. Because I'm going to factor in the time that it took to go after gunpowder. I was creeper hunting for about 45 minutes just to get enough gunpowder to get 32 TNT to do what we just did there in 15 minutes. So it actually more equates to about an hour. So we're kind of in the negative there. 9 pieces of ancient debris is not great. So if you have an unlimited supply of gunpowder, this is a great way to go. TNT is awesome, but I would still consider us in about the mid game. We're not quite to end game content just yet. We don't have a creeper farm. And so TNT mining is not really all that worth it in this scenario. Branch mining is winning so far. The next method that we're going to attempt is bed bombing, and there are actually a couple of different ways that you can do this, but the most basic thing you need a bunch of beds. So we've got some wood planks, we've got some wool, and we're gonna craft up as many of these guys as we can, and we'll just kind of toss the rest of this back in there for safekeeping for the time being. Let's go down this tunnel right here, and we'll talk about the methods of bed bombing. Once again, we found a chunk border right here, just so we can have the chance to possibly find netherite on both sides of the chunk. And you will start out by doing branch mining, again, just like we did with the TNT. And there are 2 different ways that we could do this. The first way, we could go ahead and dig out as far as we possibly can on each side of the branch mine and place a bed as far back as we can go on each one. Then we would basically go click boom, and blow up the area. But I'm not so sure you won't get the same amount of coverage doing it unilaterally like this, just going in one direction, because you can do that a lot faster than going mine, click, mine, click, boom, and then keep going, versus just like branch mining and then placing beds as you go. So I think we're gonna go do that. And I did get this idea from watching D West, or Westy as she is known in our community. That's the way that she does it on her streams, and she is also going for a netherite beacon as well. But we're gonna coin that phrase on our stream, and we're gonna call this the bed and branch fist. So, you know, the puns are real. So we're just going to dig out a little ways, about as far as we can go, and then we're going to start placing beds and work our way back just like we did with the TNT. And if we happen to still have enough beds to keep going, we'll just start a new branch. I've dug out about 150 to 200 blocks. I don't really remember what the tunnel coordinates are, but we're going to go ahead and place our first bed. We've got plenty of beds. We'll end up crafting some more if we need to, but we're going to stand as far back as we can and click this bed, and then we're going to place another one really quick and then keep going. Ready? Here we go. Boom! Back up. We're fine. We're not on fire. We'll place another one right about there. That's fine. Back up. And boom. And then we'll place another one right about there. Back up and boom. And if you just keep this going, then you're going to get through this tunnel relatively quickly. And if you see any fires, just go ahead and put them out. This is the thing that takes a little bit longer about bed bombing than the others. With TNT, you don't get this huge mess. You just don't get it. Branch mining, again, you don't get this huge mess. Bed bombs are a lot easier to get earlier game because wood is easily accessible, and so are sheep. So if you got a pair of shears and a decent axe, you'll be able to get through this relatively quickly. But just keep in mind the time that you save on resource gathering and the actual process of blowing up the nether. You're gonna have a lot more work on your hands putting out fires. Yeah, this is a lot messier. And just for the sake of time, we've already spent 11 minutes doing this. We're not gonna worry about the fire. We're going to try to clean up the lava as much as possible, just in case there's anything hiding in the lava pillars here. But for the most part, we're just going to go hunting through the tunnel like we did the other ones and see if we can find some ancient debris in this mess. We do still have some more beds and we have some more time, so we could start a second branch. So there's a couple pieces of ancient debris right there. We'll go ahead and grab those. We'll just clear this fire out, so just in case our fire res runs out at some point, we don't, take the risk there. Okay, everybody, comment section right now. And if you watched this live on the Twitch stream, you're cheating, and I don't trust your answers. Let me know what you thought was the most profitable method of mining for ancient debris in the Nether. You've got to decide between branch mining, TNT, or bed and branch fist. What do you think is better? And there we go, 23 ancient debris in 30 minutes. 23 ancient debris for bed and branch fist, 18 for branch mining, 9 measly pieces for TNT. TNT is not the way to go early game. Beds are actually a lot more profitable, and they're pretty easy to get. If you got a decent source of wood, meaning you got an axe, go chop some wood down, and you've got a sheep farm that you can shear up some wool really quick, this is actually a really quick way to get a lot of ancient debris. Branch mining, also not a bad method. All you need is a decent pickaxe that can cut through netherrack pretty quick. You just run through the nether, and as you see ancient debris, you pick it up along the way. We are back at the house, and we're going to do a little bit more shearing of sheep, so we can head right back into the nether and start bed bombing again off camera. But before we do that, let's open up the comment book and read this one from Jeff Brady. Another great one, thank you very much. I really liked your detailing tips, but the humor and heart keeps me coming back, and I can show it to my son with no worries. Well, that is exactly the goal of this channel. Well, multiple goals. The first one being we want to teach people how to play this game, because the Bedrock Guide is all about guiding you through the experience of Minecraft, but we want to do it in a way that's fun and memorable. And so, we want to bring some lightheartedness into the series. We want to be fun and funny and, joke around when we can, but still dropping those details on you guys so you'll learn something while you're here. And we also want it to be family friendly. That is a huge value for me. I would not want to have anything on this channel that I wouldn't be able to show my own kids. And so it's great that you guys are able to watch this with your whole family as well. So anytime you're on the Blue Jay Games channel, you won't have anything to worry about when it comes to family-friendly content. But guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you are ready for some crazy stuff ahead. In the next episode, we are going to go after a mending villager, and if we can get that in the next episode, we might even drop some netherite tools into the mix and get some mending on those. And then the dragon fight is not too far down the road. We are getting close to shulker boxes and elytra and all sorts of things that will open up the game even more, and it's going to be great. Leave some comments for me in the comment section and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed this content, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more Bedrock Guide content just like this. But thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.